Greetings and welcome to the Keys for the Unhinged. This is Zufara, episode number 7. I have today with me my beloved daughter, Ayala. She knows about the origination of this podcast. Actually, I was going to pick another name. I don't remember exactly what it was, but she helped me pick this name that's being used. I'm so excited to have her here. The podcast actually, real quick, was supposed to be something her and I did that we could do together. Because she's just amazing. Her mind is wonderful. It's just, and you will see for yourself. She's 14. You want to say something? You want to introduce yourself? Hi.
Hi. Excuse the hesitancy. A little shy on camera. My name's Ayala, which she mentioned. I'm 14 and excuse me, trying to think of what to say.
You're excited to be here.
Well, yeah, I am. I'm very excited to be here.
You know, it's funny because I had, like I said, I was talking about the podcast and I was like, oh, that's something, of course we could do together. I do want to actually do some video versions. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that all the time. So it's interesting how thus far she has not been on a podcast, but your first one, and it's the 7th one.
Go figure.
So, 7 is it's a very interesting number. So interesting. Okay. Let's see. The cards that I was given for today, the 2 words were pivot and attract. Okay, so pivot. Life is forever going, is forever moving. When we move according to our higher selves, we constantly are pivoting and we don't know exactly what it is we're doing. We're just flowing with the current. We're flowing with it. We're not, of course, obviously not wanting to flow against the current. And even if you were going against the current, you couldn't call it flowing.
Right.
So we are to go with the current. We're supposed to flow, and it calls for pivoting. We have to, of course, let go and pivot as our higher selves tell us to. Yesterday, I know I did a podcast when I was in the car traveling, and it's interesting because of what came up today as far as in pivot and attract. our words are power. Most definitely, we know that our words are power. And we have to be mindful about what it is we spend our time on, what it is we thinking about, what it is we're just what it is we're putting energy into. We have to be very mindful of it. Ayala. According to what pivot and attract, according to these two words, do you have something to say? What do you think about these two words?
Well, pivot means to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
And attract is to bring something closer.
Right.
So pivot and attract sounds like move and take them with you.
Move and take them with you.
That's what it sounds like.
What's them?
Whoever you're attracting.
Oh, okay. Okay. So like pivot, like you said, move, and what you're attracting to you will, okay, I got it. What you're attracting to you will either allow you to flow in the current, or it can hinder you from flowing in the current, and it can make you stagnant. It can cause you to be stagnant, and that's awful. But it's interesting.
Right, because you obviously can't move and attract something further away from you. If you're moving and attracting something at the same time, you're bringing it with you.
Okay. Right. Okay. That's interesting. You know, it's awesome how I grew up in religion. That's not what's awesome, okay? But I had that part in my life. Ayala has had the pleasures of not growing up in religion. So, of course, I've said in the past episodes, I don't know exactly which one, but I said how this journey that my life's journey, I could say when my life started is about in September. The past September, because that's when I realized that I have a different purpose than what I kind of thought my purpose was. Now, not necessarily a different purpose. Since I was young, since I was a little girl, I was like, I want to change the world. I want to change the world. I've always had that in me. And today, I still have that feeling in my soul that I want to change the world. And so that is coming into play, plain and simple. But of course, I went off into church, and I was like, oh, I need to be saved. I need to live as perfect as I can so I can be saved. So I can be saved so I can go to heaven when I die. That's the tangent I went on to. So when I started this journey now, because it's funny, because I went from knowing or thinking that, of course, not thinking, but I always knew that I was created by someone. I always knew that. I always knew there was an ultimate creator. Okay, so my mom, being brought up in church, she also too is into salvation. I'm waiting for someone to come and save me because I need to be saved. Okay, so me growing up with her with that mentality of, okay, we say our prayers, we have a savior, he's coming to save us. Okay, so me seeing my mom, I started obviously living life, going through certain things, and I'm like, okay, wait. The way that I'm living is eventually going to destroy. My voice changed. You see that? The way I'm living is eventually going to destroy myself. And then my oldest two were, like 3 and 4 at the time. So I'm like, I have to change. Things have to change. Things have to change. I need to be saved. I need a head to come and be my to be
guidance.
Yeah, like to be my covering, and so that's the time pretty much I met Omar. So I was like, okay, sorry, I had to pause it. Okay, so I before I met Omar, I was thinking, like I said, I needed someone who was into salvation, someone who had a strong prayer life, someone who actually read the Bible and actually did what the Bible said. Okay, so I, of course, like watching my mom, watching other preachers, just people who were reading it. I didn't understand why people were reading the Bible and it said, do this forever in remembrance of me, but they weren't doing it. So me, in my mindset, I'm like, that's what I need. I need to read it because I am reading it, but I need to be a hearer and a doer. I need to do what it's saying because I'm looking at everybody else and they're stuck in a cycle of just reading and no action behind what they're reading. So, I went through that and I'm like, I need to do what it says. People are reading it and they're not doing what it says. So that's why their lives are like it is, because they're stuck somewhere and they're not acting out what they're reading. So this is where I was at mentally 16 and a half years ago. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I have to change. I have to start. I cried out, I was praying. I wanted to do what I was supposed to do. No matter what, I wanted to walk in my calling in this life. I didn't care what it was that I had to stop doing. I didn't care who it was I had to stop seeing. I didn't care what I had to let go of to serve my highest purpose. Okay, so I'm going back and I'm going to bring you forward. And I'm going back because I was saying that how Ayala, she didn't have all the indoctrination that I had. She's homeschooled. She's always been homeschooled. So fast forward, she's born. I breastfed her 3 years straight. And it was a little bit more than 3 years, probably about 3 years and 2 months. And like I said, okay, I breastfed her about 3 years and 2 months. She's homeschooled. And so already just the breastfeeding alone for that amount of time has broke some chains already. That's a whole nother topic because I have 2 children before her, and it was different because obviously I was at a different point in my life. My oldest is 21 and then my next is 20 and Ayala is 14. So it's a gap there. How I was with my 21-year-old is nothing compared to how I was when Ayala was conceived. Okay, so it's just, the changing and the growing, obviously. But when I look at my path, it had evolving in it. And that's what's awesome, that, to be able to look and see, okay, I was steady evolving. And that's because that was my higher self guiding me. And so Ayala's mindset, because we're, of course, we keep a day of rest. We move according to the heavens. I'm not into the Gregorian calendar like that. We use the heavens, the moon, the sun. That's how we count our time. And that's how we've always counted our time since Ayala has been here. So our growing up, and even though, because it's funny because I was saying how you didn't grow up like I grew up and you didn't. I started, I guess, eating healthy like when you were I've always been the type of mom who wanted to cook for my family. I've always been that type of mom. So I've always cooked. But the type of food that I cooked for my family also evolved as time went on. It evolved. And so you had, which is funny, check this out, you've had 7, when you were born. 7 of them. There's certain words that I don't want to say, but you had 7 of them. It's the 7th episode. I'm just saying, and it's you who is the first guest on the podcast. She's so special, y'all. She is so special. And I am so grateful that she is here and we're able to do this journey together. I am, and I've said it yesterday and I said it before, my son is My sun element is air. Okay. Ayala's sun element is air. My moon element is earth. Of course, her moon element is earth too. So it's awesome. It's awesome that we get what we need with Omar and our first child. I had the two boys, okay, and then it was the big gap. I had the two boys. I needed a girl, and I got a girl, and then I got a girl that is of the same exact elements as myself. No, she's not a Gemini. She's an Aquarius. So it's awesome. And if you know about astrology and whatnot, Gemini and Aquarius, they just link so well together. Okay, so I was talking about the food. So the food, like she had 7 of the what when she was born. And I started studying and I started learning, and I was like, oh, no. No, we will not do that again. So I, learning and seeing certain things, it's like, oh, okay, we need to be eating like this. And I started, we were eating, I had switched to eating turkey meat at the time. And turkey meat and fish. Those were the 2 flesh that, we were eating. And then it was some chicken. So it was turkey meat, chicken, and fish. And so that's how the journey started. Definitely, of course, pork. That was like, it had to go. It's funny because I grew up on it, like most people that look like me did, especially here in America. But my ex-husband, he did not eat it. So like I said, it's funny because if you look, you just see evolving, not necessarily big steps, but when you look back at my life, you just see steps, and the steps are continuing to go up. They're not going back, right? Okay, so with him, he didn't eat pork. I did though, and I remember I was pregnant and I was eating pickled pig feet. Oh my goodness, that was like my thing. He was like, "Are you serious? You're eating pickled pig feet?" He was just like disgusted by it. And of course, so like I said, evolving, and then I meet Omar, and of course you're reading the scriptures. I mean, even without the scriptures, to eat pork, y'all, it's like one of the worst of the worst. They have no elimination pathways whatsoever. None whatsoever. They have none. So to eat something that eats whatever it sees just because it does that, they're the literal garbage cans
of the earth.
Right.
Like shrimp are garbage cans of the water. Mm-hmm. Pigs are the garbage cans of the land. Right. So eating something that literally cannot dispel something, it can't dispel the toxins in its body. So all of the toxins that it has, you eat it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it's just certain things we should not do, and just because the science of it, period, and so I it was like, oh yeah, definitely it's time to stop eating pork, and I did. With not any issues, I stopped eating it. And so the diet that she's never had it. It was finished before I was even conceived. I even conceived her. So she's never had it. She's never had marshmallows. She's never had gelatin. She has never had pork in her system, period. So you continue to evolve, and then you see that you shouldn't be eating this either. So now I'm to a point to where our flour, I have a grain grinder. I think I said this before in a previous video. I have a grain grinder. I grind our own flour. I cook from scratch. Maybe twice a month, I might go to the store and get them a bag of, is it called sete chips?
I think so.
Is that the name of it?
What? You're saying it right? I mean, how it's spelled, that's how you would say it, but English is weird, so I'm not sure if that's how you say it or not.
Okay, so, but I cook from scratch, like, and noodles, and we haven't had noodles in I guess a couple of weeks now, but like those are the two things that I buy from the store that's already made. Other than that, y'all, I make everything from scratch. And then, like I said, the grounding my own flour, yeah, definitely, because I pick out the grain that I'm not trying to grind. And
there is so much like bad grain in the bag. So, and the rice that she picks, oh my goodness. Talk about rotten. It's a lot of bad things in there, and people don't care when they make the rice flour or when people just put rice in the water without looking through it. We knew this family, this couple, when he made beans, he wouldn't pick them. So you could literally bite into a rock whenever he cooks. Dirty beans, bad beans.
Yeah, didn't even wash them.
He didn't even wash them. Oh my goodness. So they got dirt all over them, and we were trying to tell him, like, come on. It's nasty. When you look through them, you can see bad beans.
Right.
I mean, there are bad beans in the bag, and he didn't care. There were rocks in the bag, and he didn't care. You could break a tooth.
Well, he wasn't given, he didn't come from knowing that you pick through the beans, Mm-hmm. And yeah, if you have to pick through the beans, you have to pick through the grain, you have to pick through the rice, you have to pick through it. And if I pick through it, I know corporations who grind the flour, no, you cannot tell me that you pick through it. You cannot tell me that you might remove this bug.
Hundreds of pounds of stuff. You can't tell me you pick through it all.
Exactly. You take it, and you might move out a stick, but if you have an industrial grinder machine, you probably don't even move out the stick. But that's the reality of it. And that's the reality that I use when it comes to my health and when it comes to my family. Y'all, I'm into it. I'm into taking my health into my own hands. Okay, so yeah, so that's how Ayala and her siblings have been growing up. Okay, so it's just, I went off on that, and I don't even remember exactly what I was saying to begin with. She's different, and so to be able to say something, and then for her to put in her, how usually we say, someone asked their 2 cents. Y'all, it's not even 2 cents that she adds. Usually it's like 50 cents. If I would have to say it that way, I wouldn't even say her add her 2 cents. It would be her add her 50 cents.
Why'd you just say 50? Oh my goodness.
Why didn't I just say 50?
Why did you just say 50?
What do you mean?
50 cents.
What about it?
Made me think of
The rapper? Oh, yes. She's asking, oh, why did I say 50 Cent? It made her think of the rapper 50 Cent. And it's, look, and because she is 14 now, she obviously knows about certain things that she would not have known about at 11. She is I want to say sheltered, but I don't know if that's the correct word. Because you're sheltered, but you're not.
Guided, but still expected to guide yourself.
Right. I was just about to say guided.
I won't say expected, allowed.
Right. Okay. Right.
Because expected kind of sounds like it's forced.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not. So, guided and allowed to also choose your own path.
Okay. Right. So it's interesting to hear her point of view. It's awesome to hear things from her standpoint and from where she sees it, because she has not been indoctrinated by any religion, and that's awesome. That is so awesome, y'all. It's awesome. Well, pivot and attract. You got anything else to say, Ayala?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. I feel like sometimes the podcasts are just like abrupt. Oh, okay, it's over.
Right.
But sometimes it happens like that. I mean, like,
sometimes there's nothing else to say.
Right.
At the moment.
At the moment. I wonder if this moment is that moment. Pivot. I got it. Pivot. And it's, oh wow. Yesterday. And Ayala hasn't actually heard any of my previous podcasts.
Sorry.
So, but yesterday, it's funny because the podcast from yesterday, and then here we are. I was about to say pivot, listeners, pivot, and you can evolve. Pivot as it comes, pivot as it's given to you, pivot as it's shown. Take that step to evolve. And this was said yesterday. Take that step to evolve every time it comes. Recognize when you yourself have evolved, and continue to pivot. Continue to pivot. And your higher self will thank you. Your higher self will be glad. Your higher self will be smiling. And then you can finally look at yourself in the mirror and smile back at yourself. Because it's you. It's all about you. I know it's all about me. No, it's all about you. And show up for yourself. You have nothing else to say?
Well, I know a lot of people have problems with relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And pivot means to move and evolve and find the way that's best for you. If your relationship partner is not trying to move in the way that's best for you and they're still stuck in their own ways, you can either stay with them and allow pain to yourself, or you can leave them behind and be free. But you can't do both. They should be either allowing to move with you, or you have to leave them behind. I think that's all I have to say.
That's it. Okay, so that message was for someone. I hope you heard it. I hope you stayed to the end so you could hear it, because it was for you. And trust yourself. Look in the mirror. And one day, literally, your higher self will smile back at you. Until next time, see ya.